Top of the 7th, Eli Marrero for St. Louis, and a curveball from Bobby Jones, strike one. Bud Smith in the on-deck circle, and then Fernando VINA. ESPN Major League Baseball from San Diego. Bob Carpenter, Rick Sutcliffe. St. Louis trying to win a game on a day when the Cubs ahead of them won, and Houston, the first place team, lost. There's also wild card ground to be gained on the Giants, who were beaten by the Rockies today. And Marrero, a swing and a foul tip. Rick, how about that play by J.D. Drew down there?
Well, look at all of the difficult factors there. You've got a mound to go over. You've got steel for the stadium fence. You've got people wanting a souvenir. But you saw the peak down. J.D. Drew looking down, knowing where that mound was, taking the big step to get over it, focusing on that baseball. But more important than anything, him having the speed to get to that ball. Why is that important? If KLESKO were to get on and not retired, as Drew did there, would have brought the tie-in run to the plate and Phil Nevin.
And a bouncer out to Jimenez. Marrero almost beat that routine grounder out. We check in with Dave Revson again.
Thanks, Bob. In Seattle, Mike Cameron. The Mariners down 1-0. Sac fly right here. It's going to score Ichiro. That ties that ball game up at 1, and that's where it stands right now in the top of the 3rd. And in the Berg, game 2 of a twin bill with the Brewers. 2-2 ball game. Craig Wilson found to the 9th, and that is the ball game. The home run wins it. Pirates salvage a split, taking that one 3-2.
Bud Smith for the Cardinals, top of the 7th, and he takes ball 1. Thank you, Dave. Kind of a weird schedule today for Labor Day, a national holiday, and 8 teams did not play today. Sort of a gaffe in terms of the schedule, especially when you consider a team like Minnesota Twins not playing, the Royals not playing, teams that could benefit from some nice exposure on holidays. And a fly ball by Bud Smith out to center. Right there is LANKFORD for the 2nd out. Top of the order now, Fernando VINA. In-game box score for the Cardinals. It's all come from the top of the order with the exception of 1 hit by EDGAR Renteria. Pujols the big blow, the 2-run homer in the 1st. And then that crazy play in the 5th on a Polanco hit. A steal of 2nd. Ball hit his foot. Goes into left center. He picks himself up and scores all the way. The unearned run gives the Cardinals a 3-0 lead. And it's brought to you by Home Depot, the St. Louis in-game box.
Only one mistake by Bobby Jones. The bloop by Fernando VINA to start the 1st inning. And then the mistake we saw to Albert Pujols after that with 2 outs.
And a strike to VINA. Fernando 1 for 3 tonight. Catalyst of that 1st inning 2-run rally. He's a California boy from up Sacramento way. Played his college ball at Arizona State. And you know, if that ball would have hit him, it would have been just fine with him.
You think he doesn't want on? Look at what happens here. That ball is almost a strike.
1-1 delivery. And it's low and outside.
He turns as if to make the umpire think he's trying to get out of the way, but he doesn't retreat.
Right.
I mean, all he does is just throw a different part of his body in front of that ball. And then you have to go away. There's only one area that Fernando VINA has to look for the pitch. That's away. If it comes in, he just lets it hit him.
And he's been known to lean out over the plate a bit. Bobby Jones on a 3-1 pitch to VINA. And he walks him. That's what you call coaxing a walk, to use that old baseball term. And VINA on for the 2nd time tonight. Bobby Jones has walked his 2nd man.
Well, you just don't think that would ever happen. Fernando VINA doesn't walk that much. Bobby Jones averages only a walk and a half per 9 innings. Bobby a little bit upset with that last pitch not being called. Thought he caught the outside corner. Phil Cousy did not.
Next up, The dangerous Polanco, base hits each of his last 2 times now. Came into this game 0 for his last 8. And after popping out, he's got 2 base hits right up the middle. And his base running led to that 3rd run 2 innings ago. Hard guy to defense. And he lines one to left center. VINA might score on this play. He's heading for 3rd. Oquendo will send him. Polanco, 3 consecutive hits, and the Cardinals lead 4-0. Now you're seeing why the Cardinal players consider this little guy the best player they've had on their team all year long. A 2-out walk and an RBI double.
You just cannot relax at any point with this St. Louis Cardinal lineup. They can come at you in so many ways. The guys up front, they just are concerned with getting on base. The guys in the heart of the order, they're concerned with hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Both of those things have happened tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals.
RBI number 31 for Polanco, and his batting average will be up around 320 now by the end of the night with his 3 for 4. He was over 330 a couple of weeks ago. Here's J.D. Drew, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Pujols on deck. 7 St. Louis hits, none for the home team. Fastball high and tight.
David Lee up and throwing in the Padre pen.
And every day you're in San Diego and you can delay the appearance of Trevor Hoffman in a game, that is such a big thing for the visiting team. Bobby Jones nearly through 7 now. But Hoffman a non-factor in a situation like this. I don't know what it is about the West Coast. Jeff Shaw 39 saves. Rob Nen 38. Trevor Hoffman 35. The top 3 in the National League all out here.
Yeah, but none of them affect the ball game like Trevor Hoffman does.
Right.
The all-time save percentage leader. You
Ball
know,
3.
if you're Tony La Russa coming into tonight's game, you better not be behind after 7 innings. Hoffman, one of the few closers that will come in the 8th if needed and then finish it in the 9th.
Well, there are people sitting close to Bud Smith. They're not, you know, vacating him yet. And now the inning gets a little hairier for the Padres as Drew draws a 2-out walk. You hardly ever see Bobby Jones walk 2 or 3 men in an entire game, much less 2 in the same inning. Bruce Bochy going to his bullpen. It'll be Albert Pujols against the right-hander David Lee here in San Diego. David Lee, formerly with Colorado, came over to the Padres earlier this year in March. Right-hander Carlos Almanzar, and his 33rd appearance.
His last appearance came against the Arizona Diamondbacks, second game of a doubleheader. Retired Steve Finley to end the top of the 8th inning, and a grand slam homer by Ray Lankford picked up his first win of the year.
And a strike to Pujols. 1 run in here in the St. Louis 7th. The 2-out walk by VINA. Polanco drove him in with a double. J.D. Drew then walked. Bobby Jones left the game, and it's Pujols 2 for 3. Ball almost hit him. That sidearm fastball really running. Interesting matchup in the bottom of this inning when Phil Nevin, the big right-handed slugger, will lead off against the rookie Bud Smith, who has not given up a hit. The pitch count getting up there. 19 of them in the 6th inning.
Nevin ended the no-hitter for Randy Johnson yesterday.
1-1 to Pujols, low and away.
How about Carl Everett?
That's something.
Ending the no-hitter, but the perfect game by Mike Mussina last night.
How many times will Mike Mussina come so close? He's become the Dave Stieb of the modern times. Remember how many times Dave Stieb would flirt with a perfect game or a no-hitter for Toronto? And a high fly deep right center. Ray Lankford, who played a lot of center field for the Cardinals, over there to get it. A run on 1 hit. Bottom of the 7th. Nevin and Bud Smith next.
ESPN's Major League Baseball is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. And by Just for Men. More than hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Ends gray in 5 minutes, looks natural.
Qualcomm Stadium, San Diego on Labor Day night. A no-hitter through 6 for Bud Smith. First pitch to Phil Nevin, out of play right side. This will be a very difficult inning for the rookie pitcher. Bubba Trammell next, and then the left-hander Ray Lankford. Nevin 0 for 2 with a grounder and a fly. 8 fly balls, 4 grounders, 6 strikeouts for Bud Smith tonight. High fly, playable for J.D. Drew in right field. That's how the bottom of the 7th gets underway. The Home Depot in-game box for the Padres will show us very little other than 3 walks, 2 with Rickey Henderson, 1 with Ray Lankford, and absolutely 0 base hits.
Really, the hardest hit ball tonight was the ball Lankford lined out to left field with to start the bottom of the 5th inning.
The first pitch ball to Bubba Trammell. He has grounded out and struck out. And tonight is the 4th time this season the Padres have been hitless through 6 innings at the plate. We've had some nights when they just haven't been able to hit or score. More on the shutout situation later, if it comes to that in the 9th inning. 4-0 Cardinals right now in the 7th. And it's just off the plate inside, ball 2. Well hit left field. Will the first hit be a home run? No. Pujols is there, right up against the wall for the 2nd out here in the 7th. Trammell a little bit short of his 21st home run.
As you get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, physically, you're going to start to fatigue. So mentally, you have to get better. You could see Eli Marrero sitting down and away for that changeup. The location was not there. The first changeup, really, that has been elevated tonight by Bud Smith.
Ray Lankford a swing and a miss. What an interesting situation this is. The ex-Cardinal in there.
The key to a complete game is that at the end of the game, the last 3 innings, you get better mentally. Your location gets better. Your thinking process has to improve along with it.
Fastball off the belt inside. Lankford a walk and a fly ball to left. Traded by the Cardinals 3 weeks ago for Woody Williams, and it's on the outside corner.
It's all about showing him inside, getting him out of the way. He has done that now for 6 2/3 of an inning.
Lankford with an inside out swing.
The location is starting to slip a little bit. You see where Marrero was sitting up. He reached back to the heart of the zone. Really a good pitch for Lankford to hit that he did not.
The 1-2 way upstairs. Ray Lankford is one of the quickest bats in the National League. If you throw him down and in, he drops the bat head as well as anybody. The count's 2-2. That ball too far inside for Ray to hit it fair. Bud Smith over the 100 pitch mark. He's at 102 right now, and he's thrown about 60% strikes. It seems like a lot more than that. Lankford barely stays alive.
A lot easier to throw the 104 pitches that Bud has thrown tonight than it was in his last outing when he had to throw 94 pitches and only 3 1/3.
Isn't that something? Same teams, same pitcher 1 week later.
A little confusion there on the location. That was supposed to be a fastball. Smith thought Marrero was going to move away. When he moved in, wisely the youngster stepped off the mound.
Got him on the corner with a fastball. How about that for location? 7 no-hit innings by Bud Smith. Top of the 8th inning. Bud Smith is retired. 13 of the last 14 batters. A career high 7 strikeouts. His longest major league outing now. And I guess if you count the 2 from last year, Ricky now has 3 7-inning no-hitters to his credit. 2 of those in the minor leagues last season. Here's Edmonds, top of the 8th, and it's outside to the Cardinals center fielder. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Jim Edmonds deserves a lot of credit for being able to play in 125 of the 136 games for the Cardinals already this year. He's had a bad shoulder. He collided with the wall several times early in the year. He's played through a lot of playing and yet still been able to put up some respectable numbers. His power numbers are not what they were last year. He hit over 40 home runs, but he's physically not been able to do that.
Sometimes he'll look like he's ready to die after swinging, and then he'll get a base hit or hit the ball hard somewhere the next time up.
He hit the ball hard in the postseason for the Cardinals last year. 12 RBIs in the playoffs.
The 2-1. A little bit inside. Edmonds, McGwire, and Edgar Renteria for St. Louis in the top of the 8th. Nice crowd here in San Diego on this holiday evening. You can feel the anticipation in the ballpark. They can't wait to see their Padres get back up in the bottom of this inning. It'll take a while, though, as Edmonds gets the leadoff walk. 4th walk issued by San Diego pitching tonight, and Mark McGwire will walk in.
David Lee was acquired from the New York Yankees right at the end of spring training this year for the Padres. He's a power guy, throws hard, big sweeping slider. More difficult on a right-handed hitter normally than a left-handed hitter because of the angle and release point he has. But location, as it is here in the top of the 8th inning, has been the problem for David Lee.
McGwire with a line drive stabbed, then the ball thrown away by Jimenez, but Edmonds can't get up to advance. Jim Edmonds a bit shaken up at first. A great leap by Jimenez, but we will now revisit what Bud Smith did in the bottom of the 7th.
You talked earlier, Bob, about how many runs San Diego Padres have scored this year. The reason they have not scored tonight has been the command of the fastball and the deception of the changeup. You just saw there, and you saw there again. Look at the fastball in, right where the glove is. You can close your eyes and catch his fastball, as Eli Marrero does on the last out in the bottom of the 7th inning to retire Lankford.
1 on 1 out. Edgar Renteria the batter. And McGwire unlucky not to have a base hit there. These Padre middle infielders can elevate. Jackson earlier on Edmonds and Jimenez right there on McGwire. And if you're a Cardinal fan, your mind wanders a little bit every time you hear that last name Jimenez. The last Cardinal no-hitter was by a rookie, Jose Jimenez, back in June of '99. He now, of course, is the Colorado closer. But the Cardinals have had a history of rookies throwing no-hitters. Breaking ball, a backup breaking pitch, stayed inside to Renteria, and the count's 2-1. Over but low, ball 3. And of course, the last not only Cardinal rookie but major league rookie to throw a no-hitter was Jimenez in '99. That was at the Bank One ballpark against Randy Johnson. And then in his next start, Jimenez threw a 2-hitter in St. Louis to beat Randy Johnson. Talk about lack of run support or hit support. Renteria had that ball hit him. He goes to first. 2 on 1 out. would have been ball 4 anyway. And the Cardinals have 2 men on for Eli Marrero.
Activity up in the Padres bullpen now because of what happens here. Fastball getting away from David Lee. The deception that he creates with that delivery at times when he jumps out with that front leg creates the wildness in his release points.
That was Huáscar Serrano throwing in the San Diego pen. Here's Marrero and a fastball down the middle. Cardinal catcher 0 for 3 tonight. But much better production this year. He came into the season with a career batting average of .219. And a high pop-up. It'll reach the seats over on the right field side.
Cardinals looking at the wild card, but they realize why they have fallen 7 games behind in the National League Central is the fact that the Houston Astros, who lead the division, just score more runs than they do. And the Chicago Cubs, who are in front of them as well, have better pitching.
Yeah.
Both of those teams have played better defensively than the Cardinals this year.
And lately, the Houston pitching has been pretty good. That youngster, Roy Oswalt, and of course Wade Miller with a gem yesterday. They have been outstanding.
People thought those two might fade as the year went on. They have done nothing but get better.
Marrero strikes out for the 2nd out here in the top of the 8th inning. We'll check in with Dave Rebson.
Thank you, Bob. You guys are watching a no-hitter. Tim Hudson had one going in Oakland. Melvin Mora, though, breaking that up. Single to right there. 4 2/3 of no-hit ball for Hudson. His team's still leading at 2-0 there at the bottom of the 5th.
And here in San Diego, it sounds like Bud Smith made a nice par putt. Some polite applause as he walks into the batter's box. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Anytime a starting pitcher gets to bat 4 times, you know he's done a fine job on the mound. There's his pitching line again. 2 walks to Rickey Henderson tonight, 1 to Ray Lankford. 2 of the 3 early. And Bud fouls one out of play to the left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Edmonds walked to lead off the inning after McGwire lined out. Renteria on a 3-1 pitch was hit. And then Marrero struck out. Adds a strike on the outside corner. Bud Smith 3 for 20 with the bat this year. David Lee in relief of Bobby Jones with a 1-2, and that'll even things up.
You know, in the Cardinal clubhouse before tonight's game, though, they don't want to talk about the wild card. They still think they've got a chance within their division. Reason being, the Cubs and Houston play 7 of their last 10 against each other. Cardinals, on the other hand, play 7 of the last 10 against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are in last place in that division.
Before that, the Cardinals have 6 left with Houston. Yeah, that last weekend in Wrigley will be interesting if the Cubs are within striking distance of Houston, while the Cardinals are at home playing the Pirates. Polanco, he has handled the bat well for Tony La Russa tonight. And Bud Smith offers, takes it. Yes, he did, says Jerry Meals. And the runners will be going. So Jerry Meals says, yes, he did take it. No swing.
That's not what several thousand people here in San Diego thought.
Runners going. Smith hangs tough. Had a pretty good rip.
This kid's going to win himself a lot of ball games in this National League just by doing what he's doing right here. He can handle the bat. He can run. He's athletic. He fields his position. Holds runners on well. all of those things can turn a record completely around. If you're 10-10 and can't field your position, you might be an 8-12 guy. The other way around when you can.
There's a 2-out walk, and the bases are loaded for Fernando VINA. 2 walks and a hit batter in the inning. Now you've got the added oddity of Bud Smith working on a no-hitter, having to go out there and hang around on the bases for a while.
Bruce Bochy hates the fact that's been the knock on David Lee. That's why he has gone up and down between the big leagues and AAA. He's got the stuff to pitch here, but the command has not been consistent enough.
VINA 1 for 3, on base twice, high, ball 1. Singleton scored ahead of the Pujols homer in the first. Walked with 2 outs in the 7th and scored on the Polanco double. That gave the Cardinals their present 4-0 lead. He takes a fastball for a strike.
It's so difficult to play defense when you see a pitcher struggling with his control. You just don't anticipate the ball being hit at you.
And you won't get borderline calls when you're struggling. Ball 2.
Well, in the back of your mind, as an infielder or outfielder here, you're hoping he throws a strike instead of thinking about, all right, he's going to throw a strike. If it's hit to me, what do I do?
Padre defense standing around a lot. Ball 3, way outside. And the Cardinals 1 pitch away from a 5-0 lead.
As a pitcher, you're going to have outings where things just don't go well. You're going to get beat, but you're not supposed to beat yourself, and that's what David Lee is doing.
So if they hit you, fine.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
We all have those days.
He's not giving anybody a chance to make contact here. And VINA hooks one foul into the right field corner.
He's a hacker, isn't he?
He is something.
I mean, if I can reach it, I'm going to take a swing at it. Forget about walking me.
Fernando VINA is one of those guys. He doesn't always know what his stats are, but there's one stat he does know. That's his errors. He really takes pride in his defense. He probably couldn't tell you what he's hitting, but he knows all about his defense. 3-2, runners go, and a ground ball foul. I remember one time sitting with a stat sheet in the Cardinal clubhouse, and he came up to me and said, "What am I hitting?"
Well, if he gets a base hit with this happening, he could possibly drive in 3-1. Look at what Bud Smith is doing. I mean, as that ball was put in play, he was about 20 feet from tagging the second base bag.
There they go again, and VINA lofts a fly ball to center for Ray Lankford. Cardinals will leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom 3 in the order against Smith. 4-0 Cardinals into the bottom of the 8th inning. And following our game tonight on ESPN, let's give them something to talk about. It's baseball tonight. Carl Ravitch and Peter Gammons. And then following baseball tonight, Stuart Scott, Linda Cohn for Sports Center. And maybe this game will be highlighted on both of those shows. We shall see.
I guarantee you baseball tonight has their eyes on us.
Cardinals have some defensive changes here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll update you on those in a moment. Ben Davis, ground ball, 1 hopper, Polanco. He's down to 5 outs remaining. That was Pujols catching that throw. He's now at first base, and Tony Gwynn will be the pinch hitter. Rick Sutcliffe, what is Bud Smith thinking right now with all this ovation going on?
He's probably thinking about that baseball he has in his hand. If he could find a pin, he'd love to have Tony Gwynn's autograph on it. But once that thought clears, he's going to try to figure out how to get him out.
Well, ball one.
And if he does, he's going to figure out something that none of the rest of us could.
This is some moment in San Diego now. One hopper. Renteria's got it. He'll throw out Tony Gwynn. 2 outs in the 8th. And another pinch hitter will be WIKI Gonzalez.
You can talk about the over 3,000 hits for Tony Gwynn in his career, but you can't forget to mention how many times he did exactly what he did there. He hit a rocket that he just happened to hit at somebody.
Bud Smith taking 2 pitches to dispose of Tony Gwynn, who had a good hack. Here's the right-handed hitting catcher, WIKI Gonzalez. Bases empty, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. And for a moment, Phil Cousy gave it a little body English, but he didn't pull the trigger for strike 1. Smith missing inside. That's on the inside corner.
You know, Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan are a little bit concerned with the pitch count. This will be 110 on the night for young Bud Smith, but he does it so effortlessly. No wasted movement in those mechanics. Everything simple, everything out in front. Very little pressure on that shoulder and elbow. Starting to breathe a little bit harder, though, than he was earlier.
2 balls and a strike. It's in the dirt, ball 3. Cardinal workhorse Steve Klein, busiest pitcher in the National League, warming up. Here's the 3-1. Ground ball caught by Polanco. The no-hitter goes into the 9th inning. A 1-2-3-8 for Bud Smith. St. Louis 4-0. Unbelievable 9th inning coming up. New pitcher for the Padres, Huáscar Serrano, a young man you know very well from the lower minor leagues. He'll take over here in the 9th inning.
Back in my rookie league pitching coach days in Idaho Falls for the Padres, Huáscar was one of the prized pupils down there. Hard-throwing right-hander, better suited now probably for a long reliever, mid-reliever, maybe a setup role before the career's over with.
Cesar Crespo takes over at second after Tony Gwynn hit for Damian Jackson. Top of the 9th inning, Polanco, Drew, and Pujols. And Bud Smith sitting in the dugout thinking about the bottom of the 9th. Rickey Henderson will be the leadoff man. Ryan KLESKO will bat 3rd. Polanco 3 for 4 tonight. And a chopper up the middle, covered by Jimenez. 1 out. Rick, you and I thought Polanco flinched a little bit. Did he lose this bouncer in the lights for a moment?
It happens a lot. Watch the ball get up into that light stander that is over the first base dugout. Polanco just had to close his eyes, had to look down, because first of all, he had to guess where the baseball was. Then he had to clear his eyes to see it to make the throw to first. Bud Smith trying to help him make that throw. This stadium here was built for football. It was not built for baseball. Those standards, you just hope, don't have anything to do with a ball possibly getting lost and the no-hitter along with it.
And what Rick means by that, in a baseball-only ballpark, the smallest bank of lights are behind home plate in the infield area. The largest banks are in the outfield shining in so that fielders can see the ball, even high choppers. There's Drew taking a strike, 1-1. But here in San Diego, as you can see, continuous lighting almost all the way around.
There's so many reasons why they need a new ballpark here in San Diego for the baseball team. You go out there on that field, the ground crew's done everything they possibly could do. But they played a football game here on Thursday, a doubleheader on Friday. I mean, look at the patches that they've had to put in. You can still see the lines from where they chalked the field to play football. Hard to believe they would resist that here in San Diego with all the wonderful new stadiums around the United States.
J.D. Drew with a base hit out to center. His first hit of the night, on for the second time, walk earlier, and that'll bring up Pujols with 1 on 1 out here in the top of the ninth. This ballpark just almost deathly quiet. 36,535 paid tonight. Some have left, incredibly. The ones that are staying in quiet anticipation of what they're going to be seeing a few minutes from now. A breaking ball for a strike to Pujols.
Regardless of what happens from here on out, this is one of those ball games that'll be talked about for a long time to come. You saw Mark McGwire, you saw Tony Gwynn, you saw Rickey Henderson.
And a guy that maybe you didn't know when you walked through the turnstile at the start of the night, Bud Smith, do something incredible. Top of the order for the Padres in the bottom of the ninth inning. Albert Pujols 2 for 4 tonight. Runner goes. Pitch is low and away. No play. And J.D. Drew down to second base. And again, the Padre defense less than stellar. Drew's 10th steal of the year.
You know, he just seems like he's a step quicker than most of the other players in the outfield, or when he steals a base. When he hits the ball, it's just a little bit harder, a little bit further. When he throws the ball, it gets there a little bit quicker. What a talent J.D. Drew has developed into be for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And you talk about timing. His call-up in September of '98 coincided with the amazing home run chase of Mark McGwire. J.D. hit nearly 400 that month, caught up in all of that. The 2-1 swing and a miss by Pujols. In September of '98, J.D. Drew's first major league numbers, while McGwire was doing his thing, were very reminiscent of a young man in September of '41 by the name of Stan Musial. And then the comparisons were drawn, and probably unfairly so. The 2-2 to Pujols. Up and away, ball 3.
You know, possibly even Big Mac caught up in this excitement, seeing a part of history, a no-hitter.
Mark McGwire caught a throw at first base. And that ended the no-hitter of Jose Jimenez.
He's not real close to Bud, is he? He's kind of crept away from the young left-hander. Big Mac might normally be up in the trainer's room getting some treatment on some things, but has not left the bench.
And a walk to Pujols. It looks like the young man closest to Bud Smith is his rookie left fielder, who was brought in for defense last inning, KERRY Robinson. Now KERRY has departed, and there's Woody Williams. And there's Luis Saturia, young outfielder, who is just a September call-up. Big Mac, the closest to the silent rookie at the moment.
Tony La Russa taking another look at that lineup card and the possibilities of what could happen. Tony's looking down the line. He knows that he's going to let Bud Smith go as long as he can for that no-hitter. But if somebody were to get a hit, Tony will be ready to respond immediately.
And you saw KERRY Robinson. He had walked down to the other end of the bench to get his batting helmet, because he's on deck with Edmonds stepping in, 2 on 1 out. Robinson hitting in the spot McGwire was in. Well, having a chat now. A couple of Southern California boys. Ball 2.
I think that's really helpful, what Mark McGwire is doing there to Bud Smith. Just kind of ease the tension a little bit. Everybody knows what's going on. But you and I both were sitting with Bud Smith before the game. He's a happy-go-lucky guy. He likes to talk to people and listen to people. Don't avoid me.
2-0. And a strike to Edmonds. Is that VINA who slid in next to Bud Smith on the other side? How about that? We're paying as much attention to who's sitting by the pitcher as we are to who's on base. J.D. Drew at second in this case. Pujols at first. 1 out, top of the ninth. St. Louis on top, 4-0. Pickoff play at second. No throw. And a pitch. Ball 3. Jimenez was well in behind the runner Drew. And there's VINA now next to Bud Smith.
Before all of the September call-ups, I think they might have been a little bit further away than they are now. But
the dugout's a little more full, huh?
Oh, when you add 8 to 10 people to your roster, there's just no place to put them.
3 balls and a strike. Edmonds foul tip. Well, if you get a few more guys on base, there's a little more room in that dugout. And now with 1 out, 2 on. A full count coming to Edmonds with KERRY Robinson on deck.
You just notice all of those call-ups creating longer games during the month of September. Yep. So many more options for managers. Bob Brenly using 5 relievers in an inning the other night.
3-2 to Edmonds. Runners holding. Out of play left side.
Padres asking a lot out of their young reliever Huáscar Serrano. He pitched 2 scoreless innings yesterday. Well, it was yesterday when the game started, but in the 13th inning when he finally got the win, it was last night. Serrano came on with 2 on and nobody out in the 12th, kept Arizona from scoring, got out of the same predicament he put himself in the 13th.
Edmonds strikes out. Breaking ball, a good one. That's 2 outs in the inning, and KERRY Robinson will be the batter.
But here's the story of the night. Bud Smith and what he has done. 3 of those walks, 2 of them coming to the leadoff hitter in the top of the 9th, Rickey Henderson. The other to the former Cardinal, Ray Lankford.
And it looks like, Rick, with 2 outs, he's a little more keyed up than he was a moment ago.
Well, you hope he's able to control that. He had a strikeout in each of the first 7 innings. He did not strike anybody out in the last inning, and a couple of those ground balls were hit pretty hard, particularly the one Tony Gwynn hit.
KERRY Robinson, fly ball to center. Breaking back, Lankford coming in. Lankford, he's got it. And here we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 4-0 St. Louis. Bud Smith 3 hitters away from the no-hitter. Bud Smith started his night by striking out Rickey Henderson. He's walked Rickey twice. He walked Ray Lankford in the 2nd. Not a single San Diego hit. St. Louis leads 4-0, bottom of the 9th inning, as Bud Smith tries to become another Cardinal rookie to throw a no-hitter. Jose Jimenez 2 years ago, June, did it in Arizona.
Rickey Henderson's the all-time stolen base leader. He has one of those tonight. He passed Babe Ruth in career base on balls all-time in Major League history. He's got 2 of those tonight. He's only around for 2 more reasons. He wants to finish his career with more runs scored than Ty Cobb. He needs 12 for that, and he wants to get to 3,000 hits. He's 18 hits shy of being the 25th member in baseball history to do that.
First pitch, bottom of the 9th, high, ball 1. Bud Smith has mixed his fastball, breaking ball, and outstanding changeup beautifully tonight. His longest outing as a major leaguer. That's a strike on the inside corner. Came into this game with a 3-2 record, a 4.30 ERA in 12 big league appearances, 10 of those starts. Inside target. It's on the inside corner, strike 2. Henderson doesn't like the call to Phil Cousy.
Well, he's been so consistent all night. You cannot blame Phil Cousy if he gives him a little bit on the inner half. That still looked like a pretty good pitch. Rickey not happy with it. The crowd not happy with it.
There's that changeup, low and away, ball 2. Cardinal bullpen ready if needed. Right-hander Dave Veers. Left-hander Steve Klein.
Ricky's not gone for that changeup all night. He struck out looking in his first at bat, the first inning on that fastball in. Smith may have to repeat that pitch to get him.
He does. Got it up a little bit, and Rickey fouled it off to the right side.
Going to have to be on the inner half of the plate. Ricky's diving, taking the outer half away. Where your concern comes is that physically you're at your lowest level right now. Do you have enough velocity left to get in on that inside part of the plate? We're going to find out right here.
Broken bat grounder. Renteria's got it. 1 out. Jammed him beautifully. And next up, the youngster D'Angelo Jimenez. Ryan Klesko will step to the on-deck circle. Bud Smith has retired 17 of the last 18 batters.
You know the adrenaline is there for Bud Smith. The velocity was there as well. 86 miles an hour on that last fastball. That's his norm.
Backdoor breaking ball for strike 1. Inside target. Fastball low. Tony La Russa's team in a pennant race. Trying to gain ground on Houston, who lost today. Trying to stay close in the wild card race. And now this. Strike 2 on the foul.
Such a tough position for a manager. A career high. This will be the 122nd pitch of the night for Bud Smith. If you leave him out there too long and he hurts himself as a manager, you'll never forgive yourself. But how do you take him out of this?
1-2 delivery. There's that changeup, and he missed outside with it. Ball 2.
I might see if the home plate umpire might expand with me a little bit. Give me a little bit on that outer half of the plate as far as the fastball is concerned.
Another changeup, and the count goes full 3-2. Ryan Klesko next. And if there's not a 1-2-3 inning, Phil Nevin, their big right-handed slugger, would bat in this inning. The 3-2 inside, ball 4. Didn't miss by much. Bud Smith with his 4th walk of the night. And now, barring a double play, Nevin bats here in the 9th.
He didn't miss by much, but the problem for Bud Smith is that it took 7 pitches in that at bat, and you don't record the out that you need.
Ryan Klesko 3 for 3 against Bud Smith in St. Louis last week. 0 for 3 tonight. Runner goes, pitch high, ball 1. And Jimenez down to second with 1 out.
You have to do that if you're the Padres, to stay out of the possible double play. They're not going to hold him on. You can't stay there at first.
Outside, ball 2. And really, for the first time tonight, Bud Smith laboring a bit. There was a big sequence in the 6th. He had just walked Rickey Henderson. He went 2-0 on Jimenez, who swung and popped it up. And then Bud's been in cruise control ever since. The 2-0, way outside, ball 3.
Klesko 0 for 3 tonight off of Bud Smith, but just 5 days ago he was 3 for 3 with a towering home run when these two teams hooked up.
Right after we're done here, baseball tonight, we'll hear from Bud Smith. The 3-1 to Klesko. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Klesko gave up on it. It came back and nipped the edge of the plate, and the count goes full.
That completely changes the approach of Ryan Klesko in this at bat. What a big pitch. Probably the best pitch of the night by the kid.
3-2. Ground ball. Shortstop. Tough play. Renteria. 2 down. A tough short hop on the backhand side. It'll be Bud Smith and Phil Nevin with the final out sitting there.
Carp, as we said earlier, just 24 hours ago, Phil Nevin ended the no-hit bid by Randy Johnson. He got a base hit up the middle in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. There's 2 outs, but it's the bottom of the 9th now.
21-year-old from Torrance, California, Bud Smith, Cardinal rookie. And the hitter, the dangerous Phil Nevin, who's 0 for 3 tonight. That's a fastball up and away. May have been over the corner of the plate, but a little low, and it's ball 2. Marrero set up inside. I'll tell you, this young battery has worked together wonderfully tonight. Now the count's 2-0. Change up, a swing and a miss. Had him way out in front.
You've got to get smarter as you get deeper into the ball game, because physically you weaken. What a pitch. 3-1, the breaking ball to KLESKO. 2-0, the changeup to Nevin.
Ground ball. Bud Smith's got it. No-hitter for another Cardinal rookie. He threw 2 7-inning no-hitters in the minor leagues. In the big leagues, his rookie year, his 4th major league win, a no-hitter on the road in a pennant race on Labor Day.
What a tremendous job of fielding his position to get that no-hitter. He had to make the pitch, and he had to make the play to make it happen. This ball would have been a base hit up the middle. Phil Nevin would have broken up the 2nd no-hitter that he has done in the last 2 days. But what a play by Bud Smith. Here it is. It's the changeup down and away. He made the pitch he wanted, but look at it. There it is. He flinched to begin with. The ball came up. The glove was there. And Bud Smith, a part of history.
The 2 rookies hugging, Pujols, then Marrero. And right there in his glove, the no-hitter. A little toss to Pujols. And the 3rd Cardinal rookie to throw a no-hitter. Paul Dean did it in 1934, Dizzy's little brother. Jose Jimenez at Arizona 2 years ago. And Bud Smith here in San Diego. That's Rick Ankiel with the warm-up. Mark McGwire behind him. Final score, 4-0 St. Louis. Bud Smith, the no-hitter. Baseball tonight coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Rick Sutcliffe and our entire ESPN crew, this is Bob Carpenter saying good night from San Diego. Hats off to Bud Smith, a no-hitter.